audience, it's important to explain that Brazil is a market that was always pushed by a lot of brick and mortar operations. Since, let's say, 2010, 2011, we saw operators that had regional presence with a few shops selling tickets. So the market was back then sportsbook driven. And in 2018, we saw the introduction of preliminary law still introduced by President Temer. And in 2020, two factors occurred. The first factor was introduction of PIX, and 1 year before, actually 6 months before, 7 months before. And then we saw COVID, right? And since then, the market quickly shifted to online. So we don't have anymore, let's say, this regional presence of small operators with a few shops. Instead, we saw a very fast explosion of brands operating online. As we all know, in 2023, it was introduced the framework, and in 2024, we started to see ordinances being published. And of course, now on the 1st of January, we have the shift to the regulated market. What we are seeing now is a very strong consolidation of operators. So we saw smaller brands being acquired by bigger brands, in some cases, international groups that decided to step into the market and to acquire presence. In some cases, also to get manpower, talented individuals that could drive the operation forward, and then rebranding the brand to the international brand. And or in other cases, operators that decided to occupy the 3 slots that the license has available with different brands. With the regulation, we saw also, let's say, very strong streamline of processes. We saw a big reduction of costs, and it's very good that we have 2 suppliers here. Also, actually 3 suppliers, but 2 that are directly involved with, let's say, revenue share. But we had to adapt, and we had a very strong consolidation of costs. So perhaps the margins and the very generous margins that suppliers saw before, they don't really exist now, mostly impacted by a strong taxation that is occurring. We saw some operators being heavily taxed, and we know that the direct tax is only 12% of the GGR. But on top of that, there is a very strong withholding. This is probably the main reason why my colleagues here in the panel also have companies in Brazil. But tax efficiency is also a very strong drive now.